Hey everybody, how's it going? I just wanted to welcome you all to the new team meeting that we're having today. And we're just going to jump right into it. Obviously, many of you are not going to know who I am. There's a good reason for that. I am your new customer service manager here at Corolli Marketing Inc. And I included a little Star Wars note just because I know that a lot of you will probably want to get to know me right away. One of the things you'll know, I love Star Wars. So do or do not, there is no try. I feel like that's a good quote to have in life. That's a good quote to have in the workplace. It's a good quote that we can do as a team together as we work to improve upon ourselves, myself included. We need to do or do not, there is no try. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of trying, but you understand the point that I was trying to make. All right, but a little bit about me. I have recently moved to Oklahoma, and I have worked in the past at a couple of different places. One at Admiral Tag Agency, another at Enterprise Rental Car. And, whenever I worked for Enterprise, I was thinking of how I can talk about my past and how I could talk about my past experiences with some of the managers I've had. And I thought of a good example is whenever I moved across the country, and I moved from Pennsylvania to Utah, and I was able to have the opportunity to work under a few different managers whenever I worked for Enterprise, and I transferred with them to the state of Utah. And I won't name names, but I did have a wide variety of managers that I had, some good, some bad. And whenever I experienced some of the good managers, I noticed that they were more respectful of myself and my fellow coworkers. They were more relatable to us. They tried to take an interest in us as their employees, and I just felt like there was more trust and more respect between us as opposed to another manager that I had where everybody knows, everybody's probably had a manager like this. It seems like there was a difference between they thought they were better than their employees. They thought they were controlling of their employees, which I understand. In a way, you're a manager, they're your employees. You understand that. But there's still that respect level there. There's still that trust level there. And it just felt like at a time when it was very hostile in the workplace, it didn't add any positivity to it. It didn't make it a comfortable place to work. And so, obviously, in my experience, I'm going to try to be like the first manager I was talking about. I want to be able to create a good culture with you guys. I want to be able to create a good work environment for all of us, not just myself, but all of my employees included. I want you to be happy here. I want you to be happy working with me as your new manager. All right, so if we want to jump into today's meeting, that was just a little bit of background about me. But we'll just go on to, as your manager, what is my vision statement? And I thought about this long and hard, and I think that one of the things we need to focus on is growth. And so my vision statement is, as our vision is to grow by making customers happy through great service, learning from feedback, and getting better every day. If we're as customer service reps, we're supposed to be fast and responsive and ready to help others. It will create other opportunities to be able to grow on top of what we do well already. And I think that as we grow, part of that is not only growing in ourselves as employees, but growing with how things are as employees with the work we do. So as customer service reps, a lot of what we do pertains to different technologies that get advanced, how we reach out to our customers, how we help out our customers. And so with these new technologies, we need to be able to grow and adapt so we have a better communication with our clients, so we have a better relationship with them, and we don't get stuck in the mundane same way that we are trying to be able to effectively do our job and communicate with these clients. So that's something that we need to focus on, is the growth of not only as individuals, but as technology and everything goes along in our job itself, we need to be able to grow with that as well. So today I want to also talk about understanding self-awareness. I'm sure a lot of you have talked about self-awareness before, or maybe a lot of you don't understand what self-awareness is. Well, there's a couple different types of self-awareness. There's internal and external self-awareness. Internal self-awareness is understanding your own thoughts, your own values, and your own emotions. It's how you feel inside. whether you're feeling sad, happy, developing different values that you uphold or want to uphold in yourself, and understanding your different emotions. You're going to have different emotions, especially at work. It's not always sunshine and rainbows over here. We all know that. But understanding your internal self-awareness, that is one type, and also your thoughts. I mean, you all have thoughts throughout the day, whether that's about work, whether it's your personal life. There's definitely different types of your internal self-awareness, and on the flip side of that, there's external self-awareness. So when we're talking about external self-awareness, we're talking about understanding how we are viewed in social situations and aspects by other people. I already know that most of you are going to be able to tell and read a room right away with how you are being perceived, how you perceive others, and being aware of that is that external social awareness, how people are talking to you, how the picking up on those social cues, how people are looking at you, how other people are treating other people. You can definitely tell who fits in, who doesn't, who's wanted, who's not. There's different types of social awareness or self-awareness that you can understand yourself, and you'll be able to pick up on those as you get a better understanding of what that external self-awareness is. You'll be able to understand, even in a work setting, for example, that you either are fitting in or you're not, and you can pick up on cues that people are treating you with, and that will help better your external self-awareness. Okay, so for getting in that self-awareness, part of the thing that you have to do when you identify that self-awareness is a self-assessment. Now, with a self-assessment, that is an internal evaluation of yourself. You want to analyze your own skills, you want to analyze your own qualities, and you want to analyze your own achievements. And part of that is it helps us reflect on our own strengths and identifies areas that we need growth. And I actually recently took a survey. I took the VIA Character Strength Survey, and that's something that I'm actually going to have all of you do, because I want to be able to identify some of your strengths, some of your weaknesses. I want you to be able to individually identify that, and then we're going to have one-on-ones, and we're going to be able to talk about that between myself as your manager, and look for areas that you do well right now, look for areas that you can continue to grow upon, because these are the things that are going to improve not only your personal life, but your work life. You're going to be able to improve your own skills at work. You're going to be able to improve your own qualities in life. I was surprised by some of the things that I learned in my character strength survey. Some of the stuff I figured and I already knew about myself, but there are other things that I wasn't sure how it would be, and there were some things that I had strengths in that were surprising, and other things that were lacking that were surprising. And I think that this helps this helps strengthen our ourselves emotionally and internally. And when we get that self-assessment, we know the areas that we're going to need to focus on. So I want us all to be able to take that character strength survey, the VIA character strength survey. And I think they'll get a better understanding of where we stand individually and where we stand as a team when it comes to working to our best ability. So let's talk about self-management a little bit. We're talking about a lot about the awareness that we have when it comes to internal awareness and external awareness of ourselves. So when we identify all these things, how people perceive us, how we perceive ourselves, all of our emotions that we're picking up, how do we manage all of that? Obviously, self-management is the ability to evaluate and control our emotions, behaviors, and thoughts, which we talked about in the self-awareness. Those are what you're working about internally. That's the things that you're being able to observe, and how can we effectively use that and do it to our best of our ability to be able to improve upon ourselves. So I think that this is a huge key for all of us, and myself included. I'm not excluded from any of this, even though I am your new manager. I am trying to relate this as a team, and I'm included in this team. And I think this will be effective for our professional lives at this job, and I think it will be effective for our personal lives. And when we are able to identify some of the things that we need to work on, like I said in that survey. But then when we're able to identify the feelings that we're having, whenever we are able to identify some of the thoughts we're having, some of the values that we uphold, we're able to better our self-management, and we can internally control some of those emotions, and we can internally control some of those thoughts that we're having. That can help us control our stress. That can help us be able to create a efficient, more healthy lifestyle. And I think when we do that together as a team, that's going to be not only good for our individual self, but it's going to be good for our work environment. Everybody will be able to have a better understanding of where they sit themselves, as far as their own internal self-management. And I think that will be important for us as we continue to try to grow as this team. And speaking of the team, I think one of the things that I want to focus on when it comes to working together is transparency. I think transparency is a big thing, not only as employees but in coworkers. But I think when it comes to our customers, our clients, we need to be transparent with everybody. And my personal thoughts on transparency is that it's a commitment to have your authentic and honest communication between our coworkers and our customers. Like I was just saying, I think that we need to include every aspect of it, not just between ourselves as employees. We need to include our customers in this as well. If we want to be able to grow with our customers, if we want to be able to gain that trust of our customer base, we need to be transparent with them. We all know, we've been there. We know what it's like to deal with a customer service rep that is seeming kind of shady, not sharing all the information, only reading a script and withholding what they want to say. We don't want to do that with our customers. We want to be able to be honest and transparent with those customers, develop a trust between them, and to be able to have that relationship grow stronger. So not only are they coming back, but we also get the word of mouth spread around from our customers to other people so that they can grow our trust between their friends, their family, whoever they come in contact with. They can also share that information to those people as well, and they can help gain that transparency. And I think when it comes to a team that we're going to be working with as customer service reps, I think that being transparent with each other is super important, because whenever we are withholding information, whenever we are afraid to say something, whether you're afraid to say something to me or to someone else, whether you're trying to keep something a secret, I think that leads to a more toxic work environment. It can lead to an inefficient work environment, and I think that that's just not something that we want to deal with. If you're afraid to say something, don't be. Be completely transparent with myself. Be completely transparent with all of your employees. I think that will lead to a more productive and more accountable work environment, and then I think that will lead to a thriving work environment, because as we grow and as we become more productive and more accountable for each other, that will create the work environment that we need to be able to grow with this team and with ourselves. So let's talk about social awareness a little bit. I touched on it a little bit when I was talking about the external self-awareness, just being able to talk about the social cues and everything like that. But, social awareness, it kind of goes along with that, but it's our ability to observe and analyze the emotions and behaviors of other people. So when we're talking about self-awareness externally, we're talking about being able to observe other people's behaviors and emotions towards us, and being able to be aware of ourselves in those social cues. But this is us analyzing other people's emotions, other people's behaviors, being able to identify and empathize with people, because we can't control somebody else's emotions. We need to strive to have that empathy towards others, because let's face it, we're not all from the same cloth. We're not cut from the same cloth. We didn't have the same experiences, so we're going to all react to different things, different situations differently. I think that it's really important for all of us to be able to empathize with not only just your coworkers, but your customers as well, because as a customer service reps, you're going to have those bad days. You're going to have the customers that are just really digging into you, and you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to empathize for where they're coming from, and try to understand that they have their opinions too. They have their view of the story. And I think that as we do that, and as we gain that social awareness, that'll make us better employees to each other and help us empathize with each other. But it'll help us empathize with our customers, which I think they will appreciate more than we can even know. I think that that's something that gets lost when it comes to us as customer service reps with our customers. I think that it's important to know that the company that they're calling and the company that they're in contact with actually cares about their opinion and cares about how their opinion is viewed with that company. And that's our job, to be able to really show that to them. But one of the things that comes with social awareness is bias. I'm sure all of you have bias or know what bias is. I have bias when it comes to all my sporting events. I know a lot of you probably feel the same way. But there's a couple different types of bias. And bias is something that is going to be in our life no matter what, whether we try to hide from it, control it, we're going to have it. And whether we know that we have it or not, that's something that's going to be there. And so when I say whether we know we have it or not, I'm talking about unconscious bias, and that's a bias that we have towards others that we're not necessarily aware of. We may view certain people, certain individuals a certain way, certain groups a certain way, and we might even not even know like why we do, or that we're even aware that we have a bias towards or against a certain group, individual, whoever it may be. We may not be aware of that. And I think that as we improve upon our social awareness, our self-awareness, and our social awareness, that will allow us to discover those unconscious biases and be aware of those. And so we can make the better decisions in making sure that our bias does not put us into unethical situations, and our bias doesn't allow us to be unempathetic towards any customers or any coworkers that we may run into. So discovering those unconscious bias are very important. But on the flip side of that, there are cognitive biases, which is the complete opposite. We're completely aware of those biases, and those are things that we could develop on our own and learn from past experiences. That's maybe from things, the way we were raised, the great groups of people that we hung around, and things that we just developed in our everyday life that we knew was there or not, but we grew those because of the choices that we made and the best experiences that we have. Now, we've got a couple examples. I mean, there's several examples that you could choose from when it comes to a cognitive bias. But a couple examples that I have are confirmation bias, which is focusing on the information that confirms existing perceptions. So if you're dealing with a customer, or you're dealing with a coworker, or whoever it may be, and you are only focused on confirming something that you may not even know is true about them, but you want it to be true, and it's a bias you have against them, and that's the focus that you have when you're interacting with that customer or that coworker and you're dealing with them, that's confirmation bias. So you're only focusing on what you want to be true about them because you have a bias against them. And then another form of bias is the status quo bias, preferring the current way things are as opposed to change. And listen, I am guilty of this 100%. My wife could tell you that. I do not like change. I am 100% have a bias towards staying the same way, but that's something that I personally needed to get over. That's something that I learned about myself when I actually took that character survey, is that I don't like change. It's something that I've never really wanted. And we can have those cognitive biases about change, not even just little things that we have bias against people, but against change itself. And because of that, we may be biased against certain ways we do things. And I think that as customer service reps, the status quo bias is something that could be huge in the future because of the innovation that we have in the way that we operate, in the way that we do our day-to-day task and operations as customer service reps. I mean, think about it. 20 years ago, customer service reps were mainly on the phone. They weren't really using the internet that much. We didn't have online surveys. We didn't have online questionnaires. We did not have online interaction with customers. And now, 20 years later, 15 years later, we have all of that. And it's going to be continuing to innovate more and more. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of us that are fine with the way things are and we don't want things to change. But we're just going to have to adapt and grow like we talked about in the beginning of this meeting. And we're going to have to get over that bias that we have, that even though we are comfortable in what we're doing and we like the current way things are, it may be better improving and changing in the future. So we have to get rid of that bias as well. So let's talk about relationship management for a little bit. Relationships are very important in the workplace and with our customers. I think my relationship with you guys as this team is going to be very, very important when it comes to having the trust between each other and growing camaraderie as a team. I want you guys to be able to trust me. I want you guys to be able to come to me with any issues you have. I want you to think of me as part of your team. I'm not just the team leader because I'm the manager, but because I want to help each of you grow and be an equal with you in this team's effort. And I think that it becomes very evident whenever there's a poor relationship with a manager, a poor relationship with another coworker, and I think those can lead to unethical decisions. Because, say a manager like myself, say I could be hiring somebody that is my buddy or someone that I get along with well. And they might not be qualified for the job, or they might not be qualified for a promotion, or whatever the scenario may be. But because I'm close to them, because I like them, that's why I'm giving them a job. That leads to unethical decisions. And managing those relationships better, obviously, you want to give the job to whoever deserves it the most, whoever is the most qualified, not because I like them the most. And so that's a way that it could get unethical when it comes to relationships between coworkers and between myself and you. But I am going to strive my hardest to be able to grow great relationships, because when you have that great relationship with your team and with a manager, it promotes a culture that is caring, and it promotes a culture that shows teamwork, and it's something that we need to be able to promote and work on every single day, is improving our relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be able to create teamwork. We want to be able to create a good job environment, a great work culture that people want to be involved in. We want people to want to come to work. We don't want people to want to quit and go home. We want people to want to be here. We want people excited about being here. And I think we also have to have a positive relationship with our customers. People are not going to want to have a negative relationship with a customer on our end or on the customer's end. The customer is not going to want to have a negative relationship with us. What kind of message is that going to send? What kind of information is that going to lead to them spreading to people, saying that we are a negative company? That's not what we want to be. So not only are we going to have relationship management and positive relationship management with ourselves, but we're going to focus on having a positive relationship management with our customers. And we're going to do a little bit of training on that to try to help develop some ways that we can grow relationships with our customers. So in our closing remarks, I just wanted to focus on, again, that we will improve upon our self-awareness, because I think that is super important. And that will get us to becoming the best individuals and the best employees that we can be. And we can become a better team as we become better individuals. If we have a weak link, then we can identify that through our social awareness. We can help that coworker be able to improve upon their self-awareness. And when we get each of us as our self-awareness to the best it can be, think about what we can do as a team. Think about the positive impact we can have on each other and have on our customers. As a team, we'll focus on transparency with each other. That was another big focus that we had in this meeting. I want us to be transparent with ourselves. I wanted us to be transparent with our customers, because I think that promotes a honest workplace. I think that promotes a very effective culture. and being trusting and strong and healthy, and it will improve our work environment together because we can be transparent with each other. We have that trust with each other, and know that I'm an open book. I want to listen to you guys. So if you ever have any concerns or any remarks towards me or for me, feel free to come by and talk to me anytime. I want to hear them. Or if you have anything that you're not sure you want to say to a customer, or if a customer says something to you that you want to bring to me, feel free to also bring that by. Could be completely transparent, because like I said, that is something that will help our self-awareness, social awareness, and just basically help a work culture itself and promote the best work culture that we can. All right, I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank you guys for attending this meeting that we had today. I look forward to working with you all here at Corolla Marketing Inc. I think that this is going to be good for us. I think that I'm very excited to work with all of you. I'm very excited to see what kind of place we can take this team moving forward. Thank you.